work. Clock in, D, it's time to go to work. It's time to go to work. Yeah, it's time to go to work. See, clock in, D, yeah, it's time to go to work. It's time to go to work. Yeah, it's time to go to work. Gone clock in, clock in, clock in, gone clock in, clock in, clock in, gone clock in, clock in, clock in, clock in, yeah, it's time to go to work. See my defense, they on the field right now. Yeah, my defense, they yelling 3 and now. Yeah, my defense, they don't like your quarterback. So my defense, all trying to get them sacks with the ball in the air. Secondary go to work. Byron Jones, he be there, he be lying, he be lurking. If you get past him, Jeff Heath gon' hurt him. Put the ball down, go ahead and run it. I got a hot front four when they coming. Plus we got the best linebacker duo in the whole NFL. We the hot boys sizzling on fire, come to give your team hell. Clock in, D, yeah, it's time to go to work. It's time to go to work. Yeah, it's time to go to work. See, clock in, D, yeah, it's time to go to work. It's time to go to work. Yeah, it's time to go to work. Go defense, defense, go defense, defense, gone defense, defense, clock in, D, yeah, it's time to go to work. I know I said at the beginning of this track, man, that we had like a top 10 or like a top 5. Hot boys gearing up to be triple D, you know what I'm saying? Clock Dallas Doomsday defense. Listen what the hot boys tell them, man. Put me in, coach. Yeah, we all hard hitters. Smell fresh meat. Yeah, we all eating. Put me in, coach. Yeah, we all hard hitters. Smell fresh meat. Yeah, we all eating. Put me in, coach. Yeah, we all hard hitters. Yeah, I smell fresh meat. Yeah, we all eating. Clock in, D. Yeah, it's time to go to work. It's time to go to work. Yeah, it's time to go to work. See, clock in, D. Yeah, it's time to go to work. It's time to go to work. Yeah, it's time to go to work. Gone clock in, clock in, clock in, gone clock in, clock in, clock in, gone clock in, clock in, clock in, D. Yeah, it's time to go to work. See the star on the field, you gon' meet D-Law. Thinking you an outlaw, we sending the predator. Jalen Smith scoop up the whole field, so how you gon' play here, bruh? If you release your dogs, we got a wolf hunter. LVE, tackling Dutchman coming. If you hungry and trying to eat like Zeke, we'll send in a taco to sweep you off your feet. Now you deep in the woods, plus we got a couple Collins. They say time and pressure make diamonds, the hot boys shining. Clock in, D, yeah, it's time to go to work. It's time to go to work. Yeah, it's time to go to work. See, clock in, D, yeah, it's time to go to work. It's time to go to work. Yeah, it's time to go to work. Gone clock in, clock in, clock in, gone clock in, clock in, clock in, gone clock in, clock in, clock in, clock in, D, yeah, it's time to go to work. Top 10. When the hot boys hit the field, this is what we tell them. Listen what we tell them. This is what we tell them. Go to work. Clock in, D. Yeah, it's time to go to work. It's time to go to work. Yeah, it's time to go to work. See, clock in, D. Yeah, it's time to go to work. It's time to go to work. Yeah, it's time to go to work. Gone clock in. They say, defense wins championships. We're here in Dallas. We got a top 10. When the hot boys hit the field, this is what we tell them. Listen what we tell them. This is what we tell them. Go to work. Clock in, D. Yeah, it's time to go to work. It's time to go to work. Yeah, it's time to go to work. See, clock in, D. Yeah, it's time to go to work. It's time to go to work. Yeah, it's time to go to work. Gone clock in, clock in, gone clock in, clock in, gone clock in, clock in, yeah, it's time to go to work. See my defense, they on the field right now. Yeah, my defense, they yelling 3 and now. Yeah, my defense, they don't like your quarterback. So my defense, all trying to get them sacks with the ball in the air. Secondary go to work. Byron Jones, he be there, he be lying, he be lurking. If you get past
Thank you for watching West Coast. This is Antoine Woods.
Thanks for watching West Coast. Go Cowboys.
This is Ray Williams. Thank you so much for hanging out with us at Dallas Cowboy Scout.
Appreciate it.
My man West Coast from this buck.
Thank you for watching West Coast.
Shout out West Coast Cowboys. You know, it's always love over here. Raider, Cowboy, always a Cowboy.
You did one hell of a job, and the only thing else I got to say is, how about them Cowboys? Yeah!
What's up with you guys? It is your boy West Coast, and we are live in the building, man. You're going to be able to hear me a whole lot better as soon as my hating garbage man drive on, little Philadelphia fan. But hey, man, you already know what it is, man. It is your boy West Coast, the original hot boy. What's up with you, man? What's up with you, man? Hey, I know y'all feeling good. I'm feeling good. I'm all hot boyed up today. You know what I'm saying? Got a little, hey, goddammit. I need to know, am I doing too much? This how I'm coming. This how I'm coming today. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, you doing too much.
This how I'm coming today, man.
Far, man.
Huh?
You went way too far.
What? What's wrong?
Bruh.
What's wrong?
That's on some super fan stuff.
What? I'm in the game, man. I'm in the what?
Bro, you over here looking like Michael Irvin used to. You remember how Michael Irvin was the first to come out there and show the thighs?
Yeah.
Now we don't want to see the thighs, brother.
You know what I'm saying? I got the whole hot boy unit. I got it on today, boy.
Hey man, you kind of look like a Dolphin version of the hot boys, man.
I'm a semi-hot boy.
You got the hat on and everything, man. I'm feeling you kind of look low key. You look like Randy Gregory little brother.
Yeah. Hey, they call me semi-hot. You know what I'm talking about? Lukewarm. Hey, don't stop playing because I got you some pants too. Hell, you mean?
I mean, I ain't gonna do nothing with them, man. When you see mine, it's gonna be in a glass case. I'm gonna fake the front. I'm gonna fake it to that degree.
Yeah, hey, my boy said, "Damn, bro, did you really buy out the store?" I almost did.
Hey, but you killing the game though.
Yeah, man, this is how I'm coming today, man. This is how I'm coming today. Like,
hey, you might as well after a good dub.
Yeah, man. I just don't think that I don't think we saying it loud enough for the folks in the back. You know what I'm saying?
Like, say it one more time, then.
Like, I just don't think we saying it loud enough for the folks in the back, man. And I'm gonna be honest with you guys now. Like, I'm at the point of my blogging career where it's like, you know how you watch Mercedes commercials and they'll be talking about BMW because they know that's their competition. Not necessarily their competition, but that's the other people that they talk to. Without a Bam Bam, hold up, it says. Yeah, she love her to death. Okay, Bam Bam. All right, so that's where I'm at now, man. I'm just, man, I need, man, it's serious. I think I'm gonna just Captain Morgan it all show. What you thinking? What y'all think?
Nah, don't do that, bro. Please don't do that, please.
You know what I'm saying? Hey, West Coast. Hey, I'm out here looking good. I ain't gonna show you the bootiest Maximus. I ain't gonna do that. But look at me though.
We got the idea, man, and we can dig it, man. Like, just put that in the glass case. It's something like new money, man. The first time you touch it, it's like you just can't get your hands off of it. Let's act like, what
I wore these to the store already. What do you do? I've already hit the block with these.
Listen. Now listen, man.
I'm listening. Go ahead, boss. I'm listening. I'm sorry, but I'm listening.
Barry Sanders used to give the ball back to the ref and say, hey, man, I did that because I want to act like I've been here before in the end zone. That's how you need to act with those pants.
Nah, I'm acting a fool right now. I get what you saying though, boss. Hey man, I'm just saying, man. Hey man, they've been on my head about my hot boys, man. I done have people inbox me say, you need to take that banner down. Your hot boys ain't acting like hot boys. I done have people tell me, West Coast, you'll say whatever you want to say about that offense, but you won't never say nothing bad about those hot boys. I'm like, well, bruh, it's not that I'm not gonna say nothing bad, but it's like I can only speak what's truthfully happening. You know what I'm saying? If something is truthfully happening, then I can speak on it. But if it's not truthfully happening, I can't speak on it. But yo, man, I'm just excited to be home, man. Cowboys got the dub, man. It is your boy West Coast. We are live in the building, man. I got your favorite cousin, Boss Cowboy, on the line. I ain't gonna lie. I love the way it looks, but I'm regretting the way it feels. I'm sweating like a motherfucker right there.
Hey man, you in game time mode. Yeah.
Also the Instagram is up.
Feel cool, man. I thought they had like cool, like I thought they made them where they cool now.
Yeah, they cool to look at, but goddamn it, these motherfuckers hot in a mud.
No, like
sweating like a mud.
The material is supposed to make you cool.
Yeah, maybe when you running.
I think that came out this year.
These motherfuckers hot in a mug. I'm up here sweating like a mug. I'm gonna really be a hot boy by the end of this goddamn show.
Yeah.
But hey yo, man, it is your boy West Coast. We got Boss Cowboy on the line, man. Let's go ahead and talk about the show. Before we get this thing started, though, can I go ahead and hey, boss, go ahead and go on Instagram and you can send me your profile and I'll get you on here.
Let's do it.
Hey, what's up with you Facebook? What's up with you YouTube? Hey, can I get you guys to share? How many people we got on here right now? Let me see how many people we got on YouTube. Instagram, I appreciate you as always. Facebook, I appreciate you as always for supporting. What's up with you on Instagram? Gonzalez, what's up with you? James Saturn said it was waving. Gonzalez is waving. Chris, y'all, hey man, come on, man. Y'all don't be laughing at me now, man. I'm just excited, man. Y'all know how I get, man. And let's see, who we got? We got some folks over here on YouTube too. Let's go ahead and open that up. Let me open this thing up. Y'all already know how I'm coming for Halloween, so you know who I'm gonna be for Halloween? A NFC a first place. That's what I'm gonna be. that's what I'm gonna be. I'm gonna be a Dallas Cowboy player who's first place in the division. That's what I'm gonna be. All right, man. So let's go ahead and get to this. Let's go. What's up with you, Cowboy Dale? I see you, man.
What's up, Cowboy Dale?
All right. So yo, did everybody share? Everybody on Facebook. Let me see where we at real quick. Let me see. We got 56 people on here. Let me get 56 shares right now. Go. Everybody share one time. Everybody share one time. Everybody share one time. Everybody share one time. As soon as everybody gets their one share in, we're gonna go ahead and start this show off and get this thing popping, man. You know what I'm saying? But hey, if you've been hating on my hot boys, you knew this show. You knew this day was coming, so you already knew. West Coast you already know. As I've been telling y'all, man. What up with your boss, Cowboy? I see you on my other phone now. How you doing?
Oh yeah, man. So man, I'm rocking and rolling, man. I'm getting my shirt on too, bro. You know I don't want to be the hypocrite of the crew.
Hey, hey man, I appreciate you.
Give me a couple shares in real quick.
Two things I love about Boss Cowboy, man, is he gonna do his job, and then something else I learned about Boss Cowboy this week is if Boss Cowboy tell you that he's gonna go get something real quick and he gonna be back, he ain't coming back. That's what I learned. Boss Cowboy got me this week. He said, "Hey man, I'm gonna run to the store and I'll be right back." I said, "All right, I'm gonna wait right here." He said, "No, don't wait right here. Why don't you go on up to your room and hang out?" I should have knew then he wasn't coming back. But yo, this weekend was a great weekend, man. We had, I ain't gonna lie though, we put in a lot of hours on Saturday though. So I'm not even knocking you, bro. Like we put a lot of hours in on Saturday. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, you put 4 or 5 hours to the game, on some we just trying to build our business ish. You know what I'm saying? I get it. I get it. You know what I'm saying? Because we put a lot of hours in on Saturday, man. So shout out to Big Homie Boss, man, for coming out and supporting. But hey, man, let's get to this game recap, man. You guys have been rocking with me pretty much all week. So you guys been supporting my videos. I appreciate you guys. You guys saw my video. Hung out on Saturday. This weekend in general, hung out with them. Hung out with Jalen Smith and Antoine Woods. It's so crazy, man, because it don't seem like every time we hang out with these guys, these hot boys, they always play better the next day. I'm just saying. Except for Anthony Brown, it didn't work. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying, all these other guys that we hang out, it seems like when we hang out with them, the very next day they go in there and they flat out ball. Because my boy Antoine Woods and Jalen Smith had themselves a hell of a game, man. So I just want to salute those two hot boys, man, and let them know that we appreciate them for coming out to our Cowboys package event brought to you by West Coast Cowboy on Saturday, man. It was absolutely lit. I mean, it was lit. Hey, so Boss Cowboy, man, tell me about your Cowboys package weekend, man, and let's talk about this game, man.
Well, I mean, like one of the best things, just, as somebody who really purely wanted to maintain my puritanism in the analysis of the game, now, like, it felt good to see Woods especially come in without a limp at all. He was walking with his little boy, And to see him like had his strut on with no kind of gimp at all. Cause see, it's one thing when people trying to get your hopes up West Coast, right? And they getting you all excited and getting your hopes all in it, and you see him and you see him favoring that leg. But then you see him come in like he just was coming in just from drinking some cognac at the club.
Yeah. Hey, Boss Cowboy, because I just want people to understand what you're talking about. He's talking about not seeing him on Sunday. Because for every home game this year, we've hung out with Jalen Smith and Antoine Woods or one of the defensive players. But we actually got the opportunity to hang out with Antoine Woods these last couple times with Jalen Smith. So what he's talking about, you're talking about Antoine Woods walking in on Saturday. This is not even talking about football. You're talking about what you've seen him just walking into the event limping and stuff like that.
Yeah, when I saw him come in the event, that was the best feeling, man. That was the highlight of it to me. You know what I mean? Just if I'm just maintaining my purities, not kicking it with him, not just seeing them, because obviously you like kicking with players and stuff like that. But just like when I just break down as a fan of the sport and as a fan of the team, and then as a fan of him, knowing that he's a guy that gives back to his community and does good things, and that he cool with you, like to see that y'all really good friends, and you want to see the best of people. And so when you see somebody that was playing through an injury and trying to come back from it, and you looking for it, naturally you go look right at his leg and say, how's he doing? And you saw it in his walk that he was better, way better, because that was my concern. Like majorly my concern was, and obviously it was important because to the game, he balled.
Yeah, he did.
Like they stopped the hell out the run, and it was mostly him and Malik. You know what I mean? And it's almost like they was like, man, forget that rotation. We gonna just have to go with the ballers, and that's what they did. And Antoine Woods was a part of that, and that started from Saturday. Like real talk, like seeing how he was walking and seeing how he was moving, and then just on having fun at the experience. At the Cowboys packages. It was also just obviously kicking it with Jalen, got my shades and all kind of stuff. My CVE shades.
CVE, let's go. They was CVE. They was out there. They was out there with the glasses. Jalen Smith was autographing the glasses, man. It was just a beautiful event.
Got all of that, man. Yeah, I got all of that, man. That's why I recommend people come out to it, join us on home games in Dallas, as well as, check out the Cowboy packages because it's a lot of them. You get to meet these guys, have drinks with them, have tailgate, with us, and just have a good time. It's fun. It really enhances just kind of like your fandom, like, because it's about what memories at the end of the day, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Because like that's really why we all involved to the degree that we involved, whether you having a cookout at your house or some barbecue and homies, or you just doing it with family, or you introducing your kids to the sport like me. It's just a way to kind of just enhance that because, I can save all my money, but I won't have these experiences. I won't have, things that I can look back as memories that I now have, sitting there with my boys and my boys like, hey, there's Jalen as we watching the game, because they know him now, but that wouldn't happen without Cowboy packages and stuff like that.
And then also neato stuff like Jalen Smith walking up to other hot boys and doing the hot boy handshake and knowing when he saw your boys, he greeted them with the same way. It's just like little things like that, what I'm saying, that are just like, life memories. Yeah, it's worth it. You know what I'm saying? It's worth it. And I'm going to be honest with you, boss. You said something that really pricked my spirit, man. It really pricked my spirit. It got down into the soul of West Coast. And you said, like, you get to know these guys and you start accidentally caring about these guys because it's not on purpose.
True.
You out there on some business stuff. You start caring about these guys. You start hanging. You being around their kids. You see how these guys are around their children. I mean, Antoine Woods hit me up after the event. I'm thinking he's hitting me up talking about West Coast, where my check at. I had already paid him, but you know what I'm saying? But I'm thinking he's going to ask him something about his monetary issue. You know what he says? He says, West Coast, hey, bro, can you please plug me with the photographer? I need all those pictures of me with my children. I'm like, you know what I'm saying? It's like those are the moments. And, I just love how they just put that back into the stands. Now, let's talk about how that reciprocated over to the football because I'm going to just be honest with you, man. It just seems like every time these defensive players come out and hang out with West Coast Boss Cowboy, man, and YL, the official, it just seems like them dudes go out, man, and they be turned up from the event and go out there and turn up, man. real quick, let's start with the first quarter, man. Let's just go ahead and start jumping into the game recap. We're going to talk about this Dallas Cowboy offense. We're going to talk about this Dallas Cowboy defense. Then we're going to talk about Dak and Cooper's money. Then we're going to end it off with some What's on Your Mind Scout. But before we jump into this first subject on the Dallas Cowboys, should be the Dallas Cowboy it should be the Hot Boys. But we're going to start off. We always like to start off with the offense anyway. But I need everybody to share. Everybody give me one share before we go to this next subject, Dallas Cowboy offense. So let's start this thing.
We get ready to talk football now, man.
It's time to talk football. We got all the pleasantries out the way. Now it's time to start football, so we need you guys to share. So share.
Man.
All right, so game recap. You guys have already kind of heard about my sticks and of what I thought happened. So let's go start with this first. We'll start with the first half, man, and talk about this Dallas Cowboy offense, man. What was your thoughts of the Dallas Cowboy offense comparative to over the last 3 weeks? And we can talk about 3 weeks because we ain't got no game for the next 2 weeks. So we can just kind of talk about how our offense looked over these last, what compared to the last 3 weeks. What was one difference? Let's talk about one difference each, and then we'll go to the next one. Go ahead. What was one difference that you saw from this offense?
Yeah, there's no prep for this show either. This is straight how we just going, just straight into it. One thing that I would definitely highlight that I saw West Coast, I would definitely say that I saw very creative play design. Very creative play design. It was very intelligent setups to what they was doing. Like even when they obviously the touchdown to Tavon was creative to have him go in motion, and then all of a sudden streak back out for that option pitch to him. It's like we don't show that kind of stuff, or we didn't show that play in a while. Right, because I don't remember it at all. Jason Garrett said they did it before. I never saw that play, But at the same time, it was very, very good play design. And then, even the bootleg got to Jarwin in the red zone, they had the total body language as if they was getting ready to run the ball. And if I was a betting man, I was betting that if it was going to be a bootleg, it was going to be the Whitney, because that's been the go-to guy for the last 5 weeks in the red zone. And so he was a perfect deflection, or deflection, or what you know the word I'm looking for. Yeah, so it was just and they set it up perfect. It was perfect. It was aggressive, going for it on fourth down, but smart plays like when they did that rollout to Zeke, man, creative. You know what I mean? They sold it again, we getting ready to go for it on fourth down. Ran up there with a sense of urgency as if they was getting ready to snap it and either go for the sneak or pitch it to Zeke. Play action, leaked them out, wide open. It was like just common sense, misdirection play calling. So when I look at that offense, man, very well done. And then the last thing, man, I might be just kind of emptying out my clip, but just what I also saw, man, and it's kind of sum it up to me, is I fully saw beautiful balance, because they always rave about balance. We're a balanced offense, but you can be balanced but still one-dimensional. They was balanced, ran the ball a lot, kind of once they got ahead, they controlled the game. It was creative still. It wasn't the same. So if I'm to your question, comparing what we saw in the losses compared to what we saw in this win, it was night and day.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of like my approach on it too, man. It honestly, man, it just kind of felt like the Cowboys came out with a more of a sense of urgency, and to be honest with you, and I don't know, I know some people are gonna be like, this is a weird statement to have, but to be honest with you, we have some of the best problems in football. Let me tell you why. Because there are teams out there who are struggling with offensively because they don't have the talent. They just don't have it. That dude is not good. That dude is not good. Philadelphia, we could just use them as an example. They have some guys that are just not good. You know what I'm saying? Their running back is average. Jordan Howard, I'm sorry, he was lightning in a bottle. You know what I'm saying? He was a lightning rod in the bottle his rookie year. I'm not saying I see why Chicago let him go, but I see why Chicago didn't value him. I guess you could say that. Their offensive line, they just some average guys. You know what I'm saying? They're some average guys. The Dallas Cowboys, we have some above average talent guys on our team and on our offense. And to be honest with you, if it's not injury or execution, that's what it is, because we have the talent. That's why I say the Dallas Cowboys, like, even though this is a horrible problem to have, it's probably the best problem to have because at least it's not the actual players. Like, we have the players to have to what you would consider a good offense. Dak Prescott is a better quarterback than Carson Wentz. Like, I'm doing a video on it today, kind of as my last coup d'etat, but he's a better quarterback than Carson Wentz. Like, let's just be real. Like, you know that. You know what I'm saying? The pundits of, you got to be able to carry a team. Well, I didn't see Carson Wentz carry his team. I haven't seen him do that since the 2017 season. Now, imagine this. Imagine if every time I said something good about Dak, I had to go back to 2016 to rekindle that. Well, that's basically what happens when you talk about Carson Wentz. When you think about Carson Wentz, you instantly go to 2017, which is damn near 2 years ago. Like, think about that. When you think of Carson Wentz, you're not thinking about Carson Wentz from last year. You're thinking of Carson Wentz from 2 years ago.
Yep.
That's factual because he hasn't done anything since
MVP. He was
2 years ago.
MVP pace.
2 years ago. But think about this, bro. If that's the case, you can say, well, Dak was 3 years ago. What's the difference between 2 years and 3 years? Nothing. Nothing at all. You know what I'm saying? My question is this. Since you had that MVP caliber season, what have you done since? There are many, I'm going to be honest with you, there are more RG3s in the NFL than there are Tom Brady's. What I mean by there are more guys who did it really good for 1 year than there are guys who have consistently done it repeatedly. Now, I am not comparing Dak Prescott to Tom Brady at all. But I am saying this. Preparation in what it is to the game, Dak Prescott's a better quarterback than Carson Wentz, man. Like, it's not even a debate anymore. The kid is 4-2 against him, and he's like something ridiculous. And to be honest with you, let's not even say Dak is a better quarterback than Carson Wentz, because obviously Carson Wentz is not out there, playing defense against Dak Prescott. We get it. You know what I'm saying? But let's just measure them up against the equal competition, because they say, oh, West Coast, y'all don't play anybody. You know what I'm saying? Well, go look at Carson Wentz's record against the East and go look at Dak's record against the East. It's equal competition. He's a better quarterback, man.
I was actually just having a debate with somebody because they were saying, because I raised the point that Dak is like, I think 4-1 against him head
4-2.
So 4-2 against him head up.
Yeah. Rookie.
Okay.
Remember, we lost once. He lost once his rookie season, and he lost once in 2017. No,
I'm saying head up though to where they actually played each other.
Okay, well, I didn't because they don't actually play against. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just saying Philadelphia. You know
I'll say it like this: the weight of each other's experience.
Either 4-2 or 4-1. It's this.
Okay, so 4-1, 4-2. We'll say 4.5.
Boss ain't letting it go. Boss ain't letting it go. All right, go ahead.
But check this out, man. It's also the fact that each year we play the same opponents for the most part too. So you can weigh them against the defenses that they go against.
Absolutely.
And when you weigh them against the defenses, not even just the division, you weigh it all together and you look at the outcome. It tells you a good macro number, and the macro means the overall view, the bigger picture of it. That's a macro view. Right. So if you're looking at the macro view of them compared to each other, it's not even close really at this point. Like it's basically where at this point people need to just totally change their speech, stop all this upside projection, big arm crap that we always say with Wentz that's not there.
Big predictable arm. I called that.
Stop all this, he can carry a team and he can raise the whole team with his arm. It's like that's not shown, because when you was behind, like Dak was behind, at least when Dak is behind, we in it to the last drive. You can say that with Green Bay. You can say that with the Jets. You came down to the last drive. You say that with the Saints too. You can say with everybody we lose to, thank you, West Coast. You can say that to everybody we lose to that we was in that game.
The only game that we weren't in his career is Indianapolis, and even Indianapolis, we were kind of in it. You know what I'm saying? But it just
You can say with right, and then Denver at the end, and then maybe the Chargers from 2017. Everybody we lose to. Thank you, West Coast. That's another one that got away. You right. Everybody we lose to games, that we was in but that at the game. Same time, you got
the only game that we weren't in
more times with Dak to where we was in it. And you can maybe only think of maybe 3 or 4 games in which we wasn't in it, and they just got away from us early, and it was over. That don't really happen, man. You see us power back with Dak. You don't see that with Wentz, you know. And it's not even a debate, man. We can go all day on just the disrespect. And one thing I want to say though, that had something to do with Wentz and Dak, that also had to do with Philly. I really knew that this was the game that we was gonna come in really just focused and kind of locked in, because really when you think of it, man, all of us got a sense of pride as fans, and then you know the players do. Like how would you feel, West Coast, if you whooped me 2 times last year, but then the analysts come out and say, "Boss Cowboys better than West Coast"?
Well, the Philadelphia Eagles ain't beat us since 2017. So, I mean, it's been,
you see what I'm saying? So that's the disrespect that we went through this whole offseason. It's like they projected them to beat us and said that they was better than us this whole offseason, even though we swept them. And
think about this, boss. Even think about this. We have beat the Philadelphia Eagles. We're on a 4-0 streak right now. We have beat the Philadelphia Eagles 4 games consecutively. 4.
Yeah.
4. And when we beat them again this year, we will have swept them 2 years in a row.
Yeah. And then, you know, one of the sweetest stats that I figured out today, and this is I'm taking this from my girl Mary. Mary, I'm stealing it right from you. This is Amari Versary. He was signed this time last year. So everybody
say the Cowboys 16
Amari Versary. Yeah, this is his 6th, you know, this is his anniversary when he signed with us. So it's Amari Versary today. So everybody just say happy Amari.
Hell nah, it's my anniversary. Yeah, you mean.
Well, your anniversary is Amari Versary now, bro.
Hey, baby.
You know, and happy anniversary to you as well, my brother. But it's also at the same time, yours coincides with Amari Versary. So yeah, we signed him this time last year, and since we signed him, we are 7-0 in the division. Oh, whoa! So it's like it's crazy what a week does. Like everybody was ready to burn the whole ship down last week. And it's like, but at the same time, that's why sometimes we got to focus and just relax and say, you know what? Job number 1 is first getting into the tournament.
Yep.
So that's job number 1. So let's really focus on Philly, what's smart for Philly, and we executed. So we should all be chilling right now, at least a little bit.
I mean, you guys got to see it like this. You know, for the next 5 days, you get to just enjoy a victory. Like, you don't usually get to do that. Why? Because as soon as you win, Monday's here, Tuesday's here, and then Wednesday we got to start talking about the next team. So you usually get to salivate in a win for what, like 2 days. You get to salivate in it this week for like a whole 5 days. And to be honest with you guys, like I think you guys should take a chance to enjoy this opportunity. Why? Because if it would have been the reverse effect, man, they'd be crucifying us. I would have hated. Like I would have literally just turned my cable off for 2 weeks. You know what I'm saying? Because everything that would have been on the air would have been the Dallas Cowboys, man. You know what I'm saying? It would have been the Dallas Cowboys. Now, something else I saw in that offense that I really, really enjoyed, I ain't going to lie, I'm still kind of upset on how they're using him because I actually want the Dallas Cowboys to use, and we're talking about Tony Pollard. I love the play he used, but to be honest with you, I still feel that the Dallas Cowboys are just simply using him as a backup running back. Now, the play that he made where he like dipped and shook one dude and then almost fell, kept his balance, he looked like Alvin Kamara, right? That's what he looked like. And that's what we've been asking for. We need to be using him as an Alvin Kamara type. Like, Tony P doesn't have to always get the ball behind Dak Prescott. Like, that's probably my only thing not even negative, but like my own kind of like thing that I want to see the Dallas Cowboys do differently is stop using Tony P like he's a damn running back, man. Use him like he's a weapon. You know what I'm saying? And a weapon can be used anywhere. You know what I'm saying? I love that play. I also love that play. We also saw something that we didn't get to see a lot too. We got to see Tony Pollard and Zeke in the backfield at the exact same time. You know what I'm saying? That was something that the Cowboys fan base have been asking for. Well, guess what? We got to see that. You know what I'm saying? Now, hey, we about to go into some stats, so I need you guys to share. My stats say that we got 32 shares, man. Someone then snuck in through the back. Y'all done snuck into the club. You ain't tipped the goddamn doorman, and you up here buying drinks. Come on, man. Share,
Man,
share,
these Jalen
share.
shades make me feel super cooler.
I know, you is kind of cool. CEV, man. I appreciate CEV for rocking with West Coast Boss Cowboy, man. Looking kind of fly there, young man. You know what I'm saying? Something else. I'm going to tell you, since we're on the subject of streaks, the Dallas Cowboys are also on a streak of beating the Philadelphia Eagles 4 games in a row. And we also broke a couple streaks, Boss Cowboy. Our offense broke a couple streaks. The first streak that we broke is we were on a 3-game streak of not being able to score on our opening drives. Well, guess what, Boss Cowboy? We broke that streak on our first 2. Think about this. We actually scored on our 5 out of our first 7 drives. We scored on.
Yeah,
think about
man.
that.
Yeah, I mean,
5 out of our first 7 drives we scored on.
And see, this is one of those things. This is why they talk about,
I need
and
y'all to
you've
share.
been hearing terms like this for years. Mid-season mode, right? Because there's a time where you're supposed to start kind of buttoning up the mistakes that you've seen earlier. It's supposed to happen, especially when you don't play a lot of times your best players, or like how you had a holdout with Zeke. There's no way you can look at Zeke game and don't say, okay, yeah, there you go again. That's the Zeke we know, right? Because, see, think about it. We lost about 3 weeks of preparation for Zeke.
3?
With the
Training
holdout.
camp 6 weeks. Training camp is
So
6 weeks.
My bad. So we lost
3.
6 weeks. I'm counting preseason games.
Shoot, I ain't even counting the preseason game. If you count preseason, bro, that's 2 months.
So we lost that whole prep in terms of using Dallas resources and making sure your player is ready. We lost all that.
Yep, 2
so
months.
It was a major panic on Zeke, and all of us who've been watching Zeke a while know he always starts slow, so you can set a clock to it.
Yep.
Zeke don't get going to like week 4.
That's historically. Rookie year, sophomore, that's historically.
And then, but this game especially, here he comes. So, and I 100% agree with you on the Pollard, man. You know, the Pollard deal is they're definitely not using them right. But if it's in their playbook, I would want them to hold it there anyway, especially when they got their game under control. But one of the biggest things I want to also say about our offense, man, is it also broke a snap or a streak where we were starting slow for 5 games.
Good job.
It wasn't even just our losses. It wasn't even just our losses. It was our wins we started slow.
So you say 5 games, you're going all the way to Miami then?
I'm going all the way back to the Redskins.
Redskins, yeah. Oh, yeah, duh.
Yeah, I'm going all the way back to the Redskins. So in the Redskins, all the way up to the Jets, it was starting slow because of bad execution. So it was no Witten drops this game. It was no Cobb drop this game. It was no Amari drops this game. What we saw is what we're capable of in midweek form. So what I put in my article about the recap is if we need to now just bottle everything that just happened, put it in a bottle and say, don't change nothing. Just make your catches, you know what I mean? Do the little things right, and that's when you see the Dallas Cowboys offense. Because the offense was in it in all of our losses. It was more so the mistakes in those offenses that killed us. You didn't see those mistakes this game. You didn't. It was a clean, balanced game.
Yeah, that's true.
That's clean football.
Second, another thing before we go into defense that I want to actually, there's 2 things I want to talk about before we switch to defense. The first one is another streak that we also broke. As far as our offensive mind, so it's also do you guys know that we were the only team in the NFL that had turnovers and had no touchdowns as a result of those turnovers?
Yeah,
that's kind of bad, bro.
That's bad.
And I'm gonna be honest with you guys, like me and Boss, like one thing I love about doing shows with Boss is he's played big level football. I play big level football. He played at the University of Houston. I played for the Air Force overseas. Now, because of that, you know, we understand like where you're not playing for free. Because when you play for free, it's different. You know what I'm saying? Because when you play for college and like people's livelihoods at stake, it's a totally different like relationship. You know what I'm saying? Like you could literally be mad at your offense for not converting on that interception that you got. Why? Because that interception could result to you getting, you get what I mean? It's like a triple down effect. You know what I'm saying? That's why when you notice, like, the defense will get excited when they do things, but they get more excited when they get turnovers and the offense goes out there and scores and gets points off of it. Why? Because that goes to their stats also, their scoring offense. So this is something I love about this defense. I mean, this offense, man, as we broke this streak of this, man, we had 6 turnovers and we had 3 total points. Bro, do you know we had 4 turnovers in this game? And you know how many points we got off of them? 24. 24 points off of turnovers. That's a field goal and 3 touchdowns. How do you think that offense, that defense felt about that offense? You know what they said? We want to play harder. We want to play smarter because we feel if we get the ball back, they're going to score. Boss, I know. Have you ever played on a team like that? Where you were that confident in your offense? That made you want to go get them interceptions, right? And then, hey, I played on a team where we were so competitive that literally, when the offense scored touchdowns, they would literally come up to us and talk crap to us. Like, yo, now y'all got to go do your thing. And guess what? When we intercepted the ball, you know who our coach told us to get a ball to? The quarterback. Obviously, you keep it if you want to keep it. But that was our gesture. Go get points. I got this interception to give it to you to go get points. That's the mentality of getting balls. That's when we say that we can help each other. Why? Because I'm going to be honest with you guys. You'll probably, in NFL, you'll never really have a game where your offense is at 100% and your defense is playing at 100%. You may get that 2 games out of the year. I'm just being real with you.
And I also want to say, man, there was some truth in what Dak was saying, man. See, Dak is a real leader, and we don't appreciate Dak enough at all. We really super underappreciate Dak Prescott, and I'm saying it like that. It's an underappreciation from my fan base because Dak told us. He told us early. He said, I felt like we lost because I feel like when we first started losing, he said this, West Coast, he said, I felt like we lost because I think we was kind of smelling ourselves. They asked Jason Garrett, and Jason Garrett said, no, I don't quite see it like that. What did Dak say this week? He said, we need to practice harder so those practices can go into the game. There is no way possible, and somebody can't tell me that you saw another gear in a lot of our players, bro. So that means it was some truth in what he said, right? And he called it out, and it was true, is that we're suffering the consequences of our preparation. And he was right, because it's not a coincidence when you see everybody line up. It was another level to Jalen. It was another level to the hot bars. It was another level to the receivers' concentration. It was another. If anybody messed up this game, it was him. Everybody it was that locked in. He threw behind a couple of receivers a couple of times, but everybody else was locked in, and it could have been more so because of the opponent. But I think that also has something to do with it as well, in terms of the motivation that came from Dak.
But at the same time, I don't think that Dak doesn't have to play perfect every single week, though. Like, that's a huge responsibility to ask somebody. No, especially for $2 million. You can't even ask him. You can't ask him to play perfect. But I'm saying you can't ask Dak to play perfect for $2 million. You can't ask that. Like,
and any quarterback, like
not for $2 million, you can't. Not for $2 million.
And every quarterback will have missed throws, but just according to the standard, especially the standard of some. That's why I put on my page almost every week. I say y'all just need to go into every game knowing that Dak is going to be off at least 3 times. Just every quarterback. If you don't know that going into every game, you're going to be just super mad at Dak every week. Like, he threw behind him again. Damn it, he sucks. It's like, what about the other 25? That were dimes. I mean,
Yeah, well, I'll tell you guys this. Teddy Bridgewater is a backup quarterback for the New Orleans Saints, and then next week he's going to go back to being a backup quarterback, and he makes $7.3 million a year.
Right, bro.
And think about this. the Saints were okay with giving Teddy Bridgewater $7.1 million a year, and that was with the thought of him never even playing. So think about this. If Drew Brees does not go down, they gave Teddy Bridgewater $7.1 million to sit the bench. Dak's making 2.5. You know what I'm saying? Hey, I appreciate my quarterback. I appreciate what he did out there, man. You know, I love the fact that in an organization, you're always going to have what I've noticed about the Dallas Cowboys is they're going to put the truth out, and then they're going to have someone come behind it and kind of soften it. You know what I'm saying? And you see that with every decision that the Cowboys make. One person will say this, somebody come out and soften it. It's almost like they're appeasing both sides of the argument. It's like, no, one person saying, no, you can have the juice, while another person comes and holds you and says, you can't have the juice, but I'll give you a little water. You know what I'm saying? But one thing I love about this team is they got it. They understood how important, the offense understood how important this game was. And that this was a tone-setter game. And you know what this lets me know? That these guys can be prepared for big games. Like, and I'm going to be honest with you, you never know. People say, yeah, but can he win a Super Bowl? Well, you don't know. You know what I'm saying? You won't know until you get there. You know what I'm saying? I know there's a lot of military members that say they'll do a lot of military things until someone's standing right there in front of you. You know what I'm saying? And I learned that being in the military myself. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of stuff you swear up and down you're doing until you standing right there. You stood in right there with the threat in your face. Then you got to make that decision. You know what I'm saying? But what I'm saying is, can Jason Garrett prepare us with this team that he has right now for us to at least be ready to do our part? I believe he can. I believe he can. And I'm going to be honest with you, man. Jason Garrett and Dak Prescott, they actually kind of mirror each other fairly well. And to be honest with you, you got to understand this. Dak Prescott knows that a large percentage of the reason that he's here on this team is because one, Jason Garrett was pulling for him.
Exponentially.
Like, for real. Like, I know people be trying to say Jerry Jones. Like, if anybody that says that Dak Prescott is a Jerry Jones guy, you don't know your Cowboys. Because Jerry Jones didn't.
Hear what I,
yeah, because Jerry did not want him.
Let's say it like it is. Obviously, you know, Will McClay got something to do with it, but Will McClay is not enough pull on his own.
No, this was Jason Garrett.
You gotta, because it's almost like a committee in there. So it's almost like they're gonna consult each other, quarterback coaches, personnel guys. But
think about this. Think about this. They were looking at a third string quarterback. So you get what I mean? Like Jason Garrett, like, because at that point Kellen Moore was your backup.
Yeah, Kellen Moore was your backup and Dak was your contingency plan.
Like who exactly? Who loses two quarterbacks in the same season? The Dallas Cowboys.
And they was also looking at if we wanted to consider one of these guys to be a potential steal. That was Jason Garrett's point of view. Who's going to more than likely drop in the draft, you know, and who's going to be a steal. This is a guy that I've observed up close. Because people don't remember, it was fate. It was pure fate. That was when the Dallas Cowboys coached at the Senior Bowl. And so when you're the coach in the Senior Bowl, you get a very, very intimate look at every one of those uniquely talented players. Yeah. And Dak was in that game and was the MVP. And
so was Carson Wentz.
And Carson Wentz was too. And Jason Garrett went out of there talking about who? Dak. And that's a fact, man. So it's to your point. Yeah, they are married. Like, and Dak wouldn't even be here without Jason Garrett. So, and I'm not saying, oh, that's the sole reason to keep Jason Garrett. I'm mostly saying I'm not for sacrificing the season at the altar of Jason Garrett.
Yeah, and if you don't believe that in the type of loyal guy that Dak is, you don't think Dak knows that?
No, he know it. He know it.
Remember, this is the same Dak Prescott that when everybody was saying that Dez Bryant was a cancer and this, that, other thing, we went down there to Atlanta, and what did Dak do?
Threw up the X.
This is the same guy. Taco come across around the corner, and Dak Prescott could have threw the ball away, and what Dak just do? Dak's a pretty loyal guy. That's what I'm saying. He's a pretty loyal guy.
Super. Yeah, and when he had an opportunity to speak about himself in this offseason, he mentioned his other guys. He mentioned Cooper and Zeke. And he said, I want them to be top paid. I want to be somewhere up there. So he put himself below his help. So everything about Dak says loyal, to your point, West Coast. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even when it come down to money. Like, remember, that was about money. And he didn't say, I believe I should be top paid. He said, I should be somewhere up there. He said, I believe Zeke and Amari should be top paid.
Yeah, that's true. All right, man. So let's go and read a couple of these comments before we switch on to this Hot Boy defense. All right, so Adam says, I think we need an Urban Meyer type coach to coach these young players. We need a motivator like him. I'm going to be honest with you, Adam. We just beat the Phillies. Like, I'll be honest with you guys. Some of y'all need to stop disrespecting your head coach, man. Like, some of y'all literally will allow, that's like the equivalent of my wife going in there and washing all the dishes, cleaning the kitchen up, fixing this good old meal, getting it on the table, and then me come in with Baker's or McDonald's, sitting on the table, mush her food to the table and start eating the McDonald's. Like, that's what I say. Like, some people already have set notions in their head on what they want to see. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, if I don't think it comes like a motivator, I could care a damn about a motivator. And to be honest with you, if anything, I think Jason Garrett is the right motivator for this team. Why? Because think about this. Last year we was 3-5. I don't give a damn. We didn't know Cooper was going to come in and be this all-pro wide receiver. You didn't know that. You did not know that. Cooper was 1 year removed from leading the NFL in drops. You didn't know he was going to do that. You know what I'm saying? But one thing I know about Jason Garrett is, man, he has over years been able to get these guys ready. So I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it.
I agree with Adam. I just want to take the time in this.
Yeah, and I want to say something real quick because to piggyback on my thing too. Y'all need to go Google the success of these college coaches in the NFL, because I think some people get all juiced up on these college coaches, these whiz kids, but most of these whiz kids are going to college, winning a gang of games, going to the NFL, and coming right back. I'm just being real with you. Go look at these coaches, these college coaches that are going into the NFL, and look how productive they are. Not many are very productive. I mean, if the great Nick Saban can do it and he can go and have to come back, I'm just saying. And then the kid from Texas Tech, how's he doing in Arizona? Like, there is a lot. And then think about this, man. You have to have the right team who can mesh with those college coaches. Why? Because college coaches are used to dealing with kids. These is grown-ass men. This is a grown man. You can't just be like, I'm going to go make this. I mean, yeah, you could do it to Tom Brady. But there's a different approach when you're coaching grown men with $30, $40 million in their accounts versus coaching kids. You know what I'm saying? Name me a college coach over the last 5 years that's come into the league and has been productive. And my thing is this. I'm not trying to be rebuilding mode. I'm not trying to get a college coach so we can think about winning the Super Bowl 2 years from now. No. I'm in win mode now. Win mode now. The process of what we have right now can win. We just need to be better at it. And to be honest with you, this Philadelphia game was the first step. For all y'all folks that say, oh, the Cowboys ain't beat nobody, well, there you go. There goes somebody we beat right there. And coming into this game, they said they were a better team. So I don't know what the hell else we got to do. You know what I'm saying? Philly has been ranked above us for the last at least year in every poll. Every poll. So I don't know what else we can do. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. You can only beat the teams that are on your schedule. Let's switch it over to these Hot Boys, man, because y'all already know my heart goes out to them Hot Boys, man. Y'all already know I be repping them Hot Boys hard in a mug, man. Them my goons, man. They support the kid, man. I appreciate them. My boy Jalen Smith, if you was watching my video post-game in the parking lot, my boy Jalen Smith walks up to me, grabs my hat, said, man, you already know what it is. Keep repping that I ain't going to say that S-H-I-T word, but if you was watching the show, you heard what he said. You know what I'm saying? You heard, they knew what was up, man. They knew what was up. You know what I'm saying? So, man, what was your thoughts on this defense, man? What was your thoughts on this defense and what it got out, man?
Yeah, and before I go to the defense, I just want to say I do agree with the
If you're asking where your sticker's at, then let me know you didn't complete what I asked you to do, because if you're asking for a sticker, that means you didn't do it correctly, because everybody who did has gotten theirs. So inbox me. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I like the Urban Myers idea a lot. It's just not now. So as long as I'm a week to week guy, on Jason Garrett. It's week to week for me. It's like he's on a short string, but at the same time, I do like the motivational idea because I believe it's a lot that helps with a motivational guy. And I like his track record, especially when you go from team to team and success still follows you. That more so says that you more than likely have a system. And me listening to him for a while, especially with him doing college football, he seems like a humble guy. And I like a guy with low ego. I hate arrogance because a lot of times arrogance and ego is what makes sometimes people get stuck in their ideas. So it's a lot about him that I like. I just don't think the timing is now. So, if we get to that point of where the season is over, then that's where I think we should put our energy on addressing potential next coaches. But right now, I think we got bigger problems that I would want us to kind of put our attention on as a fan base. But ain't nothing wrong with a wish list.
My only problem is it be those people talking about which coach we get ain't watching film though. Like you got folks that want to talk about hiring another coach and who we should look at a coach, but you ain't even went on your TV and rewatched this Philadelphia game to see who was making mistakes in that game. Like before you want to talk to me about a coach, talk to me about these guys that are actually playing on the team. That's why when people start talking about firing head coach, I automatically just tune you out because I know you ain't watching film. Because how do you watch film on a coach? And then my thing is this, if you're not in the locker room, how do you know about body language? What you, an FBI profiler? We got folks up here watching, they didn't went out and bought the whole season episode of CSI and what's my other show I like watching? The one where they fly around looking for serial killers. That's my mama's favorite show, I forget. But you know what I'm saying? The profiler, I forgot what it is. And now they up here studying body language. Come on, man. Come on, that's the type of stuff I'll be saying, man. Study some film first, you know what I'm saying? Something that's actually tangible, something that you can physically prove. Then talk to me about a coach. Another thing with Urban Meyer is, my thing is this. This is also my thing with Urban Meyer. My thing with Urban Meyer is this. If you really pay attention to the years, Zeke really didn't have a good relationship with Urban Meyer. He didn't. Let's just be real. When they lost that game, when it was against Michigan, I forget who it was, and they asked Urban Meyer why they lost that guy. Urban Meyer said, well, I think I could have did this later in, right? Zeke said, we lost that game because they didn't give me the ball more. You know what Urban Meyer came back in? He doubled down and said, yeah, you know what? We rather do. You know what I'm saying? There is a large contingent of Ohio State players on our team. Now, my thing is this. I don't want to be, obviously players are going to coach for whoever they want to coach for, but I don't want any familiarities. You know what I'm saying? I want brand new, fresh ideas. You know what I'm saying? Now, and I'm not knocking Urban Meyer, but I'm just saying Urban Meyer is not at Ohio State University for a reason. You know what I'm saying? So, that's if I'm going to go get one of these college-minded coaches, and then Urban Meyer don't even call plays. So it's I don't see the benefit in just hiring a guy. I don't see the benefit in having a guy he's basically gonna be a culture guy, like Jason Garrett. That's just what it is, you know what I'm saying? He's gonna be a culture guy because he doesn't call offensive plays, he doesn't call defensive plays. If you're gonna bring in a head coach, at least get a head coach that calls plays. Or you're gonna put him, he's gonna be basically replacing Jason Garrett. You know what I'm saying? And I don't think there's anybody that does Jason Garrett better than Jason Garrett. If you're going to hire a guy to be Jason Garrett, well, why don't you just keep Jason Garrett? Because Urban Meyer is and then another thing, you also got to think about this. Urban Meyer is a true leader. He is a guy that is like the Jim Harbaughs, the Nick Sabans. Bro, these dudes are not going to work good in Dallas. You want to know why? Because we already got a true leader in Jerry Jones, and he's not stepping down because of that. He's not going to give these guys full reign of a program. He's not. So it's you have to, and I'm pretty sure Zeke speaks very highly of him too. I speak very highly of my ex when she's around or when my daughter's around. You know what I'm saying? We all do. But what I'm saying is, man, we've already seen the hire the ex-coach and see what they can do. You know who that was? Barry Switzer. And you guess what Barry Switzer did? He took another man's team to the Super Bowl and won, and then guess what? The team blew up. You know what I'm saying? I'm tired of this recycling crap. I don't want to hire some coach who's fired because of this. I don't want to see that. I don't want that. I want to hire a coach who's being successful, and we gotta damn near convince him to come to Dallas. That's what I want. The only college coach, honestly, that I'm looking at that is Clemson, Alabama, or that boy out there in Oklahoma. I want someone with a pedigree of winning, someone who can hold his own nuts and not come in and be over. No, I want someone coming in here with the nuts of saying like, look, bro, if y'all don't let me do it this way, I'm gonna go back to Oklahoma, because that's what Jerry Jones needs. Our best coaches that we've had: Tom Landry, real coach; Jimmy Johnson, real coach. You know what I'm saying? These were real. Bill Parcells. Bill Parcells said, "Look, man, I can't cook it if you ain't gonna let me go grocery shopping." Like, we need a real coach. And what did we get from Bill Parcells? Yeah, we didn't get no Super Bowl, but we got Tony Romo. And think about this. A lot of people don't know this, that Bill Parcells was a part of the keeping of Tony Romo, because the San Francisco 49ers wanted to pay him more. And Tony Romo turned the 49ers down to stay in Dallas. So it's like, we need a head coach who is going to be the focal point. Like, people go to Alabama because they want to play for Nick Saban. People go to Oklahoma because they want to play for Lincoln Riley. That's why that boy from Alabama went over there, because he wants to play for him. Them boys go to Clemson. I got one of my offensive linemen for a team I used to play for, DJ. He's junior, but DJ Akasumak, I can't even say it. They Samoan, but he just committed to Syracuse, man. Number 1 pass rated quarterback in the state of California, out of St. John Bosco. So y'all be looking out for. That's my boy, man. That's my boy's son. You know what I'm saying? We both played on semi-pro team for 2 years, man. He gonna be at Clemson next year. But yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. We need a head coach. Like, if we're gonna fire Jason, I don't want to fire Jason Garrett just to put another guy that's just gonna do what Jerry Jones says. Like, that defeats the purpose. Like, if you are going to hire a coach from college, you need to bring in here someone who has a pedigree and who has the nuts to say, look, bro, I've done it this way and I've been successful. I'm going to do it this way. Because Jerry Jones is the type of guy who will hire you to fix his car and then stand over you and tell you, well, why don't you use that wrench? Well, why don't you use that alternator? Well, why are you turning it to the left? That's how Jerry Jones is. You know what I'm saying? So, I just wanted to kind of give y'all, a little stank on that real quick, because I think y'all think that this is just some regular team where people can just come in here and just coach and just do what they want to do. No, this is the Dallas Cowboys. This is not how it works. Not how it works at all.
Yeah, if I had a choice in coaches from college, it would start with Lincoln Riley.
Definitely.
And then after that.
Could you imagine what Lincoln Riley would do with Dak Prescott? Oh my God, bro.
Yeah. Because of that, that's why I would go with him. Is because he's obviously teacher. So when somebody's a teacher, you can see the teaching skills in their students.
Thank you.
That's how it goes. But then also, I like Meyer a lot, Urban, because the first time when you go back, just anybody go back and go look at Zeke at Ohio State. You know what you see when you look at Zeke at Ohio State? You see a true 3-down back. So while he was under him, whether he was calling the plays or not, at least he has a first eye view and a first hand view of how to really, really use Zeke.
Yeah, but we need someone that's going to benefit. Zeke is all pro.
No, I'm giving you my list, though. I'm giving you my list and why. You know what I mean? Like,
and we ain't gonna talk on switching the quarterback.
We got the same people. We got the same people. It's just they're in different order. You know what I mean? So, like, I got Lincoln at the top, then I got him. And my major reason is because with him is because he also has coached a lot of NFL players, a lot, from Florida all the way to, obviously at Ohio State. So when you look at somebody, he has that I got mine, Jerry type of background and resume is solid. And then after that, Nick Saban would be like fit to me, because Nick Saban, his demeanor, I see that working with boys and college boys. I don't see his demeanor and his nasty ass, way of coaching working when you're dealing with men, especially his public persona with these men. I don't see it working with us, that, because that's 1990s style coaching.
Yeah, nobody's jumping in folks' faces and doing that and cussing them out.
I see that working. I take Harbaugh over him. But Harbaugh would only work with us 2 years. Yeah. So we can go to the hot boys. Because you really just asked me about them hot boys. So let me say this about the hot boys. The hot boys is basically returned, but they still at risk. What we saw was major play from Antoine Woods and Malik Collins in the middle, which, like we predicted, would open up your edge players. So Quinn was killing the rookie in the first half. But Wentz better thank God that Quinn got hurt. He better thank God.
Hey, Quinn's cool. Quinn's good too. I talked to Quinn after the game. Quinn's good. Quinn's good. And they're not telling you this too, but Quinn's good. LV's good too. LV's. Yeah. I heard that from a very reputable source. Like, I ain't gonna say, but I'm just saying they sleep in the same room as him. But yeah. LV's fine.
I mean, it's one of those things because Wentz was in a must-throw situation
and couldn't.
Ooh, and couldn't. And you so lucky because I was just like, oh, we couldn't ask for a better chest position than where we were. A big lead, an injury-prone quarterback having to throw with a motivated Dallas. Ooh, that was the best formula for breaking Wentz back again.
Yeah.
And it's just that Quinn was out. And I said, man, that's because Quinn is that's because Wentz go to church a lot. I promise you. Because any normal game, they would have cracked him.
Yeah.
And then obviously coming off the left side, Tank was doing his thing. And what they tried to do, which wasn't a good look at all, is they tried to rotate Tank to the right side, and you could just tell he's disjointed over there. They don't even try it again. He's better coming off the left. He has his technique down on the left. You see a drop off when they try to put him on the right. They just need to stop it. It was only one athlete that Dallas could literally put anywhere and he would explode. That was David Irvin. And we said that at the same time. It was only one dude you can literally.
But David Irving's athletic, like DeMarcus Lawrence is no word. Like, people don't really understand how freakish David Irving's body is. As a body, anytime that you have a D tackle that doesn't have to necessarily rush the offensive guard, he can just reach over him and grab him. People don't get that. David Irving, the reason why people love David so much is because, bro, he didn't have to get pressure because he was so long he could just reach through.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But hey, man, we gonna finish this show up. We're gonna finish the Hot Boys and Dak Cooper's money tonight. It's my anniversary. My lady about to get out of here, so I do want to kiss her on her lips and tell her happy anniversary. So make sure
definitely come back for that Dak and Cooper money.
But think about this. We off for the next 2 weeks, so we about to take it. We about to take it real slow, baby. We about to break this one down real good.
That's a good idea.
You know what I'm saying? Ain't no rush. Hey, Boss Cowboy, let them know where they can find you at, man.
Boss Cowboy Sports. And I'm going to have my graph up tonight, and it's current.
All right, send that to me. Hey, and you already know what it is, man. I appreciate you guys for tuning in and for rocking with your boy, for sharing, man. Make sure you come back tonight at 6. We're going to be finishing up Hot Boys. We're going to be looking at Dak and Cooper's money, should they be getting paid over this bye week. And then we're going to open it up to a what's on your mind scout. So, and that's going to be
West Coast.
Shoot.
I forgot to tell him, Wes. My article out. Y'all need to go to my Twitter and my Facebook page. Go get it.
All right. Hey, well, you guys already know, man. Never look down because the stars up. Peace.